Why are we unhappy? I found myself asking that question pretty often lately, and I think that I cracked the code. I have talked to a lot of people, and because of my business and coaching, I coach a lot of clients, and I talk with a lot of people about their problem, and I finally cracked the code, I think, about why are we so unhappy with our life? This is something I always struggle with. I'm someone who is just not a happy person. I have to work really, really hard to just be happy and to feel happiness. But don't get me wrong, I'm a really positive person. I like to laugh. I like to make people laugh. I smile a lot. But deep down, I'm just not a happy person. And I don't know why, but it's just always been like that. I had struggled a lot with my mental health. I love when people come to me with their problem because it makes me realize so many things. And as I give them advice on their problem, it's like I give myself those advice. And I don't know if that makes sense. Honestly, I don't know if that makes sense. Today, I want to talk about the reason why I think so many of us are unhappy with our lives. I realized that we put so many expectation on the outside world, but not enough expectation on ourselves. Let me explain. We expect our life to be a certain way. We expect people to treat us a certain way. And when we have something planned, we expect that night to go our way. We always expect things to go our way. But the problem with that is that we cannot control those things. You cannot control how people act with you. You cannot control how people feel about you. You cannot control how people are going to treat you. You can't control what people are going to say about you or to you. We put so much expectation on those things, but it doesn't make any sense because we don't have any control over any of those things. So what happened when you don't have control over something and something doesn't go your way? Well, you get unhappy. You get sad. You get mad that things didn't go your way because you had so many expectations on that thing. And I think it is a normal thing to do because the human body just wants to be in control of everything in order to be protected. So that does make sense. But this is a pattern that we absolutely need to change in order to be happy. I think it's important to practice the mindset of it is what it is. It's gonna give you the chance to put less pressure on yourself. Because whatever will happen in your life, however that person is gonna treat you, you're just gonna respond with, it is what it is. You cannot control the situation. You cannot control that person. It is what it is. There's this feeling of freedom when you start practicing that mindset. There's this feeling of having control over your life instead of trying to have control over the external world. And it feels so good to know what you have control over and to let go of the things you cannot control. And the thing is, life happens. Sadly, life is not all rainbow and sunshine, and bad shit will happen in your life. People are gonna treat you like shit. People are gonna judge you. Things are not gonna go your way all the time, and that suck. I know that suck. But why shame ourselves so much over things that are not in our control? Why blame ourselves for things that we cannot predict? It doesn't make sense to me. As I talk, I know it's easy to say and it's even harder to put in practice. Honestly, I think it's like a long life work, a long life practice. I'm a very sensitive person and I used to get affected so easily by so many small things. And I started practicing the it is what it is mindset. And it got better. My life really got better. And nowadays, there's not a lot of things that will affect me. But there's still things that are more sensitive than other thing. And I'm still working through it, and it's honestly so hard to do, but it comes from experience. In order to practice the it is what it is mindset, bad shit have to happen in your life. Things have to go the wrong way in order for you to practice this mindset. And we all know that life tests the shit out of you. It is inevitable, you know? There's some sort of like beauty to it, that in order to work on ourselves, we have to face our problem and we have to face our trigger. But I just feel like sometimes it is so draining. It is so draining to constantly work on yourself and having those challenges on the thing you're trying to work on. Sometimes I feel like I just need a break of everything, you know? And I know when I make those podcasts, it seems like I have everything figured out. But honestly, that's not the truth. When I make those podcasts, I remind myself those things, because this is something you have to remind yourself. You do not have control over anything external. This is something you have to remind yourself. And this is something I remind myself every time I make podcasts. You don't have control over anything, but the only thing you have control over is yourself. How do you want to act? How do you want to feel? How do you want your life to look like? What kind of person do you want to be? This is the thing you have control over. And you should put all of your focus on that instead of worrying and putting your focus on things you cannot control. Stop thinking about how that person treated you so bad, and stop thinking about that night that everything went wrong. But instead, focus on the things you can control, which is yourself. I started doing this 3 years ago when I started my spiritual journey. I made a whole plan about what kind of person I wanted to be, because I knew I had some toxic pattern to work on, and I know I still have work to do on myself. I am not perfect, and nobody is. But 3 years ago, I made a whole plan about what kind of person I wanted to be, because I changed so much, and I am not the person I used to be. I'm just not the person I used to be. Back then, I was a very angry person. I was very sensitive. I was blaming the whole world for my problem. I was very negative, and I didn't like the way that I felt about myself and the way that I acted in the world. I just didn't like the person I was projecting to the world. So I wanted to change that. So instead of focusing on all of the external world that I didn't have any control over, and instead of putting my energy worrying about what other people think about me and how am I gonna make it and how hard life is, I started focusing on myself and what I could do to change. This is what I did. I asked myself, what kind of person I want to be? I want to be the kind of person who is just warm. I want to be the kind of person who's just light and warm, and I want to be positive. I want to laugh a lot. I don't want to spend my time worrying about little silly things. I want to be able to fully be myself and be a good person. I want to be the kind of person who support other people. I want to be the kind of person who help other people and make other people feel good about themselves, but while also feeling good about myself and how I act. And then I ask myself, how do I want to act? In order to be the person I want to be, how do I have to act? I knew I had to work on my anger issues. I knew I had to work on controlling my emotion. This is something I struggled with a lot. And this is what I did. And my life got so much better. I'm not saying it's perfect, but my life really got so much better since I started doing that. So this is the kind of question you want to ask yourself. Do you want to feel miserable all your life? Do you want to feel like you have no control over how you feel? Do you want to feel like you have no control about anything in your life? Because you can have so much control with only how you control yourself. When you start having more expectation towards yourself, the less things affect you, because you're gonna know your value, you're gonna know who you are, you're gonna know how you want to be. So when people or things doesn't go your way, it just means that it wasn't for you and you were just not aligned with this. There is so much peace when you start doing that. There is so much knowledge to learn about that, and your life will become so much more peaceful when you start having the it is what it is mindset, and you start focusing on yourself and you start having more expectation for yourself. There's no magic potion, there's no secret pills to take if you want to be happy. The only way to be happy is to work on yourself and be the best version of yourself that you can be. Because when you reach that state of mind, you become invincible. And I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet, but I'm pretty close to. And I know it's not easy to do. And like I said, it's a lifetime of work. You can do it if you really put in the work to change yourself. And when you start having more expectation towards yourself and you work hard every day to achieve that state of mind, I promise you, you're going to wake up one day and it's all going to be okay at the end. All the worry, all the problem that you had, you're going to look back and you're going to think, how stupid was I to worry about that thing? And you're going to laugh about it, and then you're going to go about your day. So the only thing you need to do is work hard, believe in yourself, and don't fucking give up. Never fucking give up on yourself. You deserve happiness, and you deserve good things, and you deserve good people in your life. And don't let your problems and worries make you think that you do not deserve to be happy. Because I promise you, you deserve it.